Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here. It is Thursday the 28th of February. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Remember, we're kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen here. It's by you coming back and using the website, using the charts and using the adverts. That's what keeps us free of charge, so thank you for doing that. Now, excuse my attire this morning, won't you, ladies and gentlemen? I'm off to the gym. Not that it's doing me great to the good, but I'm trying to get there as regularly as I can. So excuse me, because I'm off there straight away. But I wanted to get this video out to you first of all, just to show you how things are developing. Going to put together a brief video as well later. We've got the latest output from the Korean atmospheric model and also the Brazilian now, and they're kind of backing up our ideas for spring and get into early summer, but I'll put those on the featured channel a little bit later. Just wanted to show you this one first of all. This is the 7 to 10 day mean of the 500 millibar flow, and we're continuing this theme of dry weather during the next few days, but then turning more unsettled next week. So this is the ECMWF model on the left, GFS on the right here, and this takes us through to from next Thursday through to Sunday the 10th of March. And what's of interest here is just to note how we've got below normal heights here, look, all the way across the Atlantic on the ECMWF and on the GFS as well. Both of them indicating a stronger trough developing here west of Europe, but what that does is it then pumps north warm air here, and it builds the ridge and the blocking area high pressure back up towards the north. So excuse me, as that trough comes through, which it looks like doing so during the middle part of the month, bringing a return to cooler, more unsettled conditions, what it then does is it builds the high back up to the north up here, and it means that by the end of the month we could return into drier and sunnier weather too. But I'll of course keep you give you more information about that in the video a little bit later on. Now let's just take a look at how things shape up over the next few days. This is high pressure that's centered across us just at the moment, and what I really want you to notice through this is that it really doesn't go very far. Yes, there'll be bits and pieces of cloud around, and also a little bit of drizzle perhaps affecting central and southern areas at times, particularly I think through tomorrow. But by Saturday what we're seeing is high pressure extending right the way through the country, light winds. I think we've got to think of the risk of fog through central areas, particularly through Saturday, slow to clear. But you notice this front here coming into northern Scotland during the course of Saturday, bringing out breaks of rain there. But essentially, look how dry it is. I think cloud really is going to be the main problem, and trying to predict where it is during the course of this weekend and into the early part of next week. But this is the chart for Monday going into for Sunday going into Monday of the next week. High pressure's here, but what I want you to notice is, look, the isobars becoming close together. Now as we go through Monday, you'll notice that that southeast breeze picks up. It stays dry, but the breeze is there. Now into Tuesday, the southeast breeze persists. I think it will bring some cloud and outbreaks of rain, particularly late on in the day, and I think it's going to be these western areas, Wales, southwest England, western parts of Scotland and Ireland, that see the highest risk of that. But during the evening, late on Tuesday into Wednesday, we could find some outbreaks of rain affecting northwestern England. So there's this kind of breakdown that's taking place during this period. So let's just look at the ensemble and show you what's going on here. This is for London, but it's quite representative of how the temperature profile and precipitation profile is going to go across the country. And what to notice from this is this increase in temperature that takes place in here. Look, this is into next week as that southeasterly wind picks up. It pumps this warm air northwards during the course of the middle part of next week. But notice too, these green bars here, this is rainfall. Okay, so notice how dry we are, look, through the weekend, but just look what happens. Look how these rainfall amounts increase during next week. Not dramatically huge amounts of rainfall, but the threat is there. And then the next section I want you to notice is, just look, temperatures dipping off again around about the 10th. So there are several distinct periods to this forecast. There's up to here, running up to the 5th of March, late on the 5th. So this is late on, where are we? The early, sorry, not late on, it's the early part, isn't it? It's the early part of the 5th, which is Tuesday. My brain's just gone today. Tuesday. It's dry, but then notice how temperatures pick up, but we go more unsettled. Then we've got this period up till around the 9th, which is taking us next Saturday. Yeah, next Saturday. I have to check the dates here, you know. Next Saturday, which then shows this decrease in temperature, look, and going back into cooler conditions. So it's not cold as we've had, but certainly it's cooler. So there will be an increase in temperature, rain coming through, but then we see this decrease in temperature probably from about the 9th onwards, and staying with some unsettled conditions during that period, taking us through the middle part of the month. So how does that look? Well, this is the Ensemble model. I'll show you the actual rainfall predictions in just a moment, but this is the Ensemble model, and this is what it's trying to predict for us. Let me just get to the start. There we go. So this is tomorrow. Here's our area of high pressure look up towards the west of Scotland. Low pressure here, low pressure here. Now these go forward in 12-hour steps, and what you'll notice is the high kind of hangs around. Look, it stays with us into the weekend and into next week, but here is the southeasterly flow starting to pick up, and this is the chart for midday next Monday. So find is that southeasterly persists as this trough here edges its way eastwards. So the trough moves its way eastwards. Look, then we get a secondary trough moving into the Atlantic here. We stay with a southeasterly flow, but what we're going to find all the time wrapped around this feature here are fronts moving their way northwards through the country, taking outbreaks of rain with them. So this is the 9th. Now then, watch what happens to this area of low pressure. You see it stays off Southern Ireland, but look, instead of the flow now coming up from here, it's now coming in from the east. So we go into much cooler conditions. And then the low transfers eastwards, and it pulls back in these easterly winds. So what we find is that temperatures fall off. We've still got fronts wrapped around this low, but they're mainly affecting East Anglia, South East England and Midlands at that time. And it pulls in cooler air from the east. Now it tries to build back in high pressure again, look, across Scandinavia, but I think what will be happening by the time we get into the 13th and 14th is that high pressure will be re-establishing itself up here across Greenland, high pressure across Scandinavia, and east to southeasterly flow through the UK. But what's important to notice here, look, is high pressure starting to develop down over Spain as well, and this southwesterly flow. Now the southwest flow obviously is warmer than the one coming in from the east, but what this is all pointing to is this increase of temperature taking place from around the 18th or 19th of the month onwards, and that would then start to lead us into this period that I'm predicting a fine warmer end to March. I'll give you more information on that, but the hints of it are here. This ridge you can see there in the 500 millibars, the colours there, that builds north, and it's that may well bring in the southerly winds, which could get us this warmer end to the month. So you know, it's not looking bad. Now in terms of total rainfall, I just wanted to show you how we're looking for rainfall. This is total rainfall then up to close of play on the 5th of March. So this is up to 6 p.m. on Tuesday. You notice that there's just not much there at all, but we do have this rain across the south and across western parts of Wales and across northern and western Scotland too. Most of this stuff down to the south is actually over the next couple of days from the residual cloud that's there. This stuff out towards the west is the stuff that comes through late on Monday in towards Tuesday. Now the Ensemble sees it like this. This is in 5-day steps, and this is day 1 to 5, so this is closing at midnight on Monday, Sunday into Monday. And notice again, look, just bits and pieces across the south, but generally this is a huge dry chunk that we've got in here. Then we go on to day 6 to 10, and this really gives you the story of this idea of it tending to become more unsettled. Now these rainfall figures, don't take too much notice of the actual figures, it's the fact that we see an increase that's important. And then finally going from day 11 to 15, still got the unsettled stuff in there, but less rainfall overall, so showing this tendency that we start to become drier again as the high pressure builds in from the east. But I think the most important chart for you today is probably this one, because it nicely delineates these spells of weather where we start off with this fairly cool but dry weather, we then go into milder but gradually becoming more unsettled before we go cooler and then tending towards drier again into the middle part of the month. Incidentally, you can get those charts on your site as well. Just up on your web browser. Go to charts at WeatherWeb. You just click on charts at WeatherWeb, and then down the left hand side here. Oh dear, I've disappeared. Goodness me, that wasn't me falling over. That was the webcam falling over. There we go. And then down the left hand side there, what you'll find is GFS Ensemble, and all you do into GFS Ensemble is click on UK cities, and it brings up that information for you. Well, at least it wasn't me that fell over, was it? And you might notice today as well, back to the old PC too. I'm still struggling to get this Mac working. I'll get it working, but you know what these things are like. Anyway, oh, I've gone again. There we go. It's me. You know, I'm trigger happy today. What I've done here in the office is I have just move things around a little bit. And what it means is that I've got wires hanging all over the place just at the moment. Look, I'm shaking around already. So I've got wires hanging around all over the place at the moment. And you know what it's like when you're trying to rearrange stuff. You can never get it back to how you wanted it, can you? So for now, I think I better go quick before it all falls apart. But for now, thanks again for watching. Remember that Weather Web is kept free of charge by you coming back and using the site here, by telling your friends about it. You can follow us on Twitter at Weather School, or you can do it on Facebook. Just do a search for Weather School 2. And remember, it's the adverts around the screen that keep us free of charge. Do you know what, that camera falling over? The reason I'm giggling here is that camera falling over reminds me. I was back in the days gone by. I was GMTV's weatherman. And I remember being on an outside broadcast and getting a countdown to air sort of 30 seconds beforehand. And the camera was in front of me on a tripod, and the cameraman was stood next to it. And 30 seconds before I've got a count coming down in my ear. And I heard a noise off camera, sort of a shout. So that I saw the cameraman turn around, but his shoulder caught the camera just as I had 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 going on in my ear, just to see the camera go poof on the floor like that. So it happens to professionals as well. Not that I would even put myself in that category, but it happens to professionals as well. As you know, I describe myself as an enthusiastic amateur. I may have a doctorate, I may have qualifications, but believe me, I'm still an amateur at heart. The weather teaches me something about it every single day. But anyway, I'm wittering on now, aren't I? Listen, thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining, and bye for now.